something like that. When I first start, it's like I have no idea what I'm doing. I think I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. And then as time goes on, then it starts to come together. That's one of the reasons why I neglect to do a video on how I draw. Because the first probably 5-10 minutes you're going to say, what the heck? You don't know how to draw? Well, I don't. I'm going to get under there more. And we might end up shortening the rim quite a bit. Undercut there. See, I can do that with the light. There, a little. Then I want to round it off a little bit. I always hate that sound. I always think, did I break my knife? I think it's getting pretty much done to the point of waiting it during cleanup or something. Now I'm going to take my chisel. Where's my big chisel? I'm going to do this without my chisel glove on. I still want to take some more of that off. I lift it up a little bit. Let's do this. Am I in? No, I'm out of. Two things, I'm carving up more and I'm taking a little bit more off here. So we're getting more head here. Snowman head will come out a little more. Okay, now I'm gonna, now that I got this started, I'll do some more cleaning. I do want to shrink the hat quite a bit here. And I want to make sure it's round. The rim is really not supposed to be too wide or sticking out or whatever. You can even have barely a hint of it if you want, but or you can keep it as floppy as you want it there. So I'm relatively happy with the bottom of the hat, other than cleaning up. And there's quite a bit of cleaning up. Getting there. Now we want to take, I'm going to take a chisel again, and without, I'm going to shrink this a little bit. Careful not to break the rim, but still in the camera. Oh, ouch. I think I should have put my glove on. I do that a lot. Is I take this end there and it gouges right in. So if you see some red paint, oh, there's some red paint right there. It is frustrating. don't mind the red paint. Okay. Next time I will put my glove on. Okay, let's clean this up a little. Let's get that red paint out of there. Am I going to be okay? I think I might just keep wiping it until it stops bleeding. Well, I think that's the first time I cut myself on one of these videos. And it wasn't with the knife either. The knife was not guilty. Which kind of reminds me, while I'm cleaning this up, I'll tell you a little story. Well, it's a little story of how I cut myself while teaching. It was probably the worst cut I had. I ain't going to give you the details of what it looked like, but I was carving, showing a student, as a matter of fact, while teaching, how to cut this Christmas tree. How do you do this? Well, here, let me show you. And I looked over and I saw, I was sitting by his chair, and I looked over by my chair, and there was my cut glove. I thought, nah, that's all right. And sure enough, so it wasn't, it was a kind of a cross between being red-faced with embarrassment, with kind of maybe being white with the blood kind of come together and made me look more normal because you had the two colors together. But anyways, yeah, it stopped bleeding. I think I might accidentally put some of the red paint on, but it did stop. So it's getting there. Like I said, it is like getting more down to detail. I'm pretty happy with the shape of the hat and the head. I might want to thin. Now, one way you can thin this and not thin, or make it look like it's thin, is that you just simply you just sharpen. So it looks like it's thin. That way you won't have to worry about it breaking. Come this way. Sharpen and clean a little bit at the same time. Get the red paint out of there. Yep, I'm still good. Just sharpen this a little bit. Finger out of the way. Sharpening and rounding at the same time. This is where we can have our cake and eat it too. And still have it thick enough so it looks, I might take a little bit off. Here we go. Now the head is starting to look pretty decent. Cleaning up, straightening up. Do that later. Now from the head down to the scarf, well, the thing is the scarf isn't that. I mean, you want to have the scarf pretty puffy, but in this particular case, I don't think so. I'm going to start with this. I'm going to start with the top part. So it's going to be kind of cone shape right now, for the sake of getting my bearings, because this is going to go around the neck, and so the neck is round. Careful, I don't. Now I want to come in straight down, and there's where my shoulder is. So we straighten out the scarf a little bit and put the shoulder in. Well, here, let's go this way. Straighten out the back a little bit. in there. There, now the collar is a little better. You can keep it, or not collar, I'm sorry, the scarf. You could probably keep it a little thicker. It's more thicker than I was planning, but you know, let's keep it that way. We can keep it that way, because then we can round it off, because the scarf is going to be imperfect. You know, like if you got a little too thin on one side and too thick on the other, that's fine. We do want it a little round though. We don't want it square. So the collar, or the collar, I don't say collar again, the scarf is not so bad. Now let's put the collar in, now that I'm talking about collar. And again, I might need the chisel because this will bring, I want to bring the arm out a little more. Yeah, I think the chisel's going to have to come in there. Keep twirling it around and twirling it around. I got to do something. There. A little piece right there ain't going to come out of there, is it? There it is. Now I want to bring the collar out a little bit. Bring the collar back a little bit. Straighten the collar a little bit. Take off a little more around here. So it brings the collar out, and it brings the hand that holds the broom out a lot more. Now, one thing I neglected to mention was I don't want to do too much detail around the hand until after we drill. I think I mentioned that from other videos, is because we don't want it to have a perfect hand and then we drill, and obviously it would break. But here we want to be able to drill the hole and then form the hand over the hole. Okay, here's the next little detail we got to do here. Now, since his hand is going to be, I want it to be roughly the same size here. That's where his hand is, but I want to bring the scarf, I don't want to have the scarf to cover too much. I want to see where the hand is. The scarf is going to come down maybe about one, round it off like that, round this up like that, about a third. Let me, oh, I still want this. This is all going to go away. That's going to go away. So what I want to do is, I was going to do some erasing, but now this one, I'm pretty deep here, but I want to be kind of shallow around by the hand.